Hi everyone, this is Ron Crider speaking. Welcome to the Panorama Tower building at 1101 Brickell Avenue in Miami, Florida. The zip code down there is 33131. It's a fabulous new property. Height of the building is 868 feet. Right now we're looking north. There's a couple of different shots of the people that are working with us down there. That's Tom Bloom. He's the coordinator for the project. Ralph Chambers is there on the left-hand side. That's myself on the right-hand side. I took these pictures to show you those glass windows in the back, and this is in a plumbing for the chiller room. Look on the right-hand side in the back, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we get into some of these other things. Again, Ralph Chambers and myself on the left-hand side. These shots, again, are taken through the windows looking out, and I want to explain those windows to you in just a moment as we get past the self-promotion of ourselves, Ralph Chambers and myself, Ron Crider. Looking north again from the Panorama building. This is the base of the tower that's located on the top of the building. The tower is an 8-foot face tower. It's about 30 feet high and 3 10-foot sections. I took this to demonstrate the actual grounding that is currently there, tied into the top of the grounding on the building. It's taken a little still shot taken a little bit further away, another one taken a little bit further away. And this is a shot looking out towards the Miami airport to the west from the top of the building, and I'm standing on not 868 feet high, but I'm about 800 and probably 60 feet high. I'm right kind of at the base of the tower that's on the building, walking around the perimeter of the building. That's Coral Gables down there. There is Spanish Broadcasting Company's radio stations right now on top of 2 Biscayne Boulevard. I remember when that tower went up, it was the tallest tower in downtown Miami. Now it's dwarfed by all the rest of these buildings. Again, I took these shots just to give you an idea of the view from the top of this building. It is absolutely fabulous. More important, the most important thing to be able to tell you is that from the top of this building, the horizon is 36.1 miles from here. And that means that for line-of-sight broadcasters, and that's the FM radio stations, anybody who's doing line-of-sight communications, that is the predicted extent of the coverage area. Now that goes way up to Palm Air, north of Fort Lauderdale, to the north, and to the south down past Homestead as you get into the Keys. Now that's called direct line of sight. That doesn't mean that if you're broadcasting from there that your signal won't actually go further and follow the curvature of the land a bit. Going to the east, it's not quite to Cat Key and Bimini. However, in the past, I have worked off of sites like this from the Candelabra Tower that we built in 1968 in Fort Lauderdale, and we had excellent success transmitting from the top of that tower to Bimini as well as to Cat Key. Now, the reason being that, of course, we put up a little tower at Bimini and a little tower at Cat Key, so if you have some elevation at the receiving end and elevation, of course, at the transmitting end, that extends that 36.1 miles out considerably further. It's actually about 56 miles from this building over to Cat Key or Miami. So that'll just give you a rough idea of the coverage that you would get from there. As I was going to mention earlier, there are many, many, many transmission capabilities at the top of this building, and there are still some left. We have the ability to put microwave dishes inside the building and shoot through the glass windows, meaning that they would be ultimately protected in case of storms. If that's not to your liking, we have plenty of exterior locations for the dishes for your microwave to shoot north, south, east, west in any direction. We have ample space to mount low-power FM stations, low-power TV stations on the top of the building. The building lends itself very well to communications antennas, to government communications, and so forth. So I strongly urge you, if you're interested, this is the time to get here. It's absolutely amazing what is available. There are a number of equipment rooms on the top of the building. There's also provisions for emergency power, and that'll keep you going in the event of a really bad storm. In addition to the equipment rooms, there are many other wall space areas that are enclosed that will be able to protect your equipment and still be able to mount equipment on the walls. In many cases, I have mounted low-power FM stations on walls and be able to swing the rack open and get to the rack. There's the Mandarin Oriental Hotel that's very close to this location at 1101 Brickell Avenue. Another thing I want to point out to you is the building is wired with fiber, so fiber will be available to all of the communications rooms and anywhere we need it in the building. There's plenty of fiber on that property, and as you know, it's fast and it's ultra reliable, head and shoulders above cable now. This is the new great thing. So being able to connect everything you have with fiber is no issue for this building. It's all right there. Now we're looking out over towards the port area, and up in the right-hand corner you'll see Government Cut. This video was shot February the 2nd, 2018 at about 10 o'clock in the morning. And Tom Bloom is the construction coordinator. He was extremely helpful in taking us to every little nook and cranny that we wanted to see. He is the person that we communicate with to get dimensions on rooms and find out what we can and can't do. He is incredibly responsive. You ask him a question and within 2 hours you're going to have an answer. If he doesn't know what it is, he will find out for you. He's been on the property here for 5 years. He's a New Englander, so that's a good thing. He's a solid man, solid guy, really knows what he's doing. He's been on this project since it got started, and I can't say more nice things about Tom Bloom. He was extraordinary in helping Ralph and myself surveying the property. This was my first time to the property. Ralph Chambers, the second time now. Ralph Chambers is the director of engineering for Spanish Broadcasting Company. We strongly urge you to get in touch with us if you have a need for transmission facilities in the downtown Miami area, or you are looking to shoot out as far as at least 36 miles. We got you covered at this site. It's one of the best sites I've seen and worked with from New York City all the way down. I think you'll find it to be extremely organized. People know what they're doing in the building area, and we certainly have plenty of experience on rooftops, since we ran tons of rooftops and built many of them over the years since the 60s, when we first went into business building and managing tall towers and building rooftops. I personally put a tower on the rooftop of the Deauville Hotel in the early 60s for then WAEZ, the broadcast from the Deauville Hotel. That was a monopole. Put a monopole on top of the Ken Ann building at the corner of Oakland Park Boulevard and Route 1 in Fort Lauderdale. And that's where WMJR FM 100.7 broadcast from. They then became Y100, and we built the tower at Pembroke Road and I-95, which is a 1,049-foot broadcast and communications tower, and they broadcast from there at that time. Currently, Spanish Broadcasting is broadcasting from a custom-built Allen & Dick FM antenna that I personally designed. I'm not the actual design, but I designed the pattern and the way it would be mounted on the top of the tower. It was built by a company by the name of Allen & Dick in England, and I went to England and supervised the actual installation and design and installation of that antenna. So we have many options for you at the Panorama building with respect to single use antennas or multi-purpose antennas. The people that work with me are very experienced in multiplexing. We would use probably ERI or SWR antennas in many of the locations here. So give us a call, 772-913-2209. This is the perimeter of the very top of the building, and there are many spaces. You see these little pipes sticking up, and that little PVC is ways to get your antenna's transmission line over to it. Again, we're going to look at a little bit of the video. It's the Mandarin Oriental Hotel again, and once again we're looking out at the Port of Miami, just to the top of your screen there. And as I said, the look angle is fabulous, most obviously from the top of this building. The building owners have really thought through this and used terrific engineers to design not just the mechanical part of the building, but also the electrical needs of the potential tenants. Obviously, communications was not their first thought when they put this building together, but it was certainly not overlooked, and therefore it's very, very much ready to go. Nice electrical equipment rooms to be able to pull power from, and as I mentioned earlier, auxiliary power will become available. It depends on what you need, what you want, how much you need, but it's certainly going to be available at the top of this building. But right now, there's tenants already signed to go on the top of the building, and certainly first come, first serve. There's just so much space available, and we would love to talk to you about it. So remember, give me a call. My personal number is 772-913-2209. My name is Ron Crider. Been in this business for a long, long time. We're going to move across here into the next shot and see what we got here. Maybe some video that's upside down. Sorry about that. Again, here's the perimeter of the building, on the very, very tippy top of the building, and you can see how wide that is. So if you wanted to put a satellite dish, probably not a satellite dish, but if you wanted to put a microwave dish, it would be easy to mount the microwave dish there. And you see how this tower is mounted. There is room to put at least one and maybe two more little tower sections like this on top of the building without exceeding the FAA limit. Currently it's 868 feet, and there is a possibility, although the overall height of 868 won't change, there is some question as to whether we are at actually 868 with that tower or we're at 830. So keep watching the video and you'll see in the near future what we've got to work with. You see this wall space, all the wall space on the top of this building is good for mounting single bay FM antennas for low power FM stations, low power TV stations, and they can be anchored very securely into the walls here by using a strong pipe or sticking small pieces of tower section up, or even a small monotube can strap in there quite easily. So technically speaking, mechanically speaking, it's not going to be a really big deal to put any type of antenna you can think of up here. We have built most unusual antennas at various tower sites that we have had all over the United States, including Jacksonville, in New Orleans. We built the strongest tower in New Orleans back in the 80s. One of the few towers that survived Katrina. That was a 1,049-foot tower. And we did some specialized TV antennas that mounted going up and down off of a T-bar on the top of that tower. So your wish is our command when it comes to figuring out a way to mount your equipment. We're not just offering you a place to put it, we're offering you some ideas as to how to be very creative in getting the most out of the equipment that you may want to install on the top of this building. And we certainly would look forward to working with you. Again, here's another shot at Government Cut out there in the upper left-hand side of your screen as we come back slowly over towards the causeway there, and it was fun shooting the video. It was a nice day up there. Just a little bit overcast, but not bad for shooting the video. I took this just to, again, demonstrate the top of the building, and there's a longer shot of it. You can see there's plenty of room on either side to run transmission line around there. Again, these wall sections are very conducive to the installation of antennas, side mounted on the wall, going up above the wall now. And I took this shot again to show you can shoot through this window. This is looking west right now, and this is actually where the window washing equipment will be, in that area that's currently open. Another shot of the tower. It's a roan tower. As I said, it's an 8-foot face tower. And we do have a little space left on that tower. Spanish Broadcasting is going to mount 3 antennas on it. Once again, I'll give you a little bit more video of the area. Here's our information up here. Get in touch with us. My name is Ron Crider, 772-913-2209. And keep watching the video, and I will create new videos in the near future as we begin to start the installation of the already signed tenants on the building. We're laying out the equipment rooms and the rack rooms as we speak, so that we can be very, very efficient and yet provide you with the necessary security you need for your equipment, and still be efficient with the roof space and the actual equipment room space, so that we do have a limited amount of space up there, but that's not to say that we don't have plenty of space for you to install your equipment and still have it exceptionally secure. Drive into the building, take the elevator up to the 85th floor, and you're off and running for good communications. It's a whole lot better than being on top of a structured tower where to get to your antenna, you're going to have to get into an elevator and ride to it. So the transmission line is going to be very, very short from the equipment rooms to your antenna. In fact, it could be within just a few feet of your antenna if you do choose to mount your dishes inside the building and shoot through the glass windows. And or if you put them on top of the building, again short, because it would be your transmitters would be immediately below that. This is another shot inside the building where you could mount microwave dishes and shoot through those glass windows. Those windows have plastic over them at the moment. That's why they look not so clear. Another shot of Ralph Chambers from Spanish Broadcasting. Again, another shot of the windows. The plastic was put on them just to protect them until all the windows were installed, everything was cleaned up, and all of the debris around there from the construction is gone. Then they'll pull that off and they'll wash them, and they're very, very clear. No problem at all to shoot through them. I took this picture just to give you an idea of this is one of the smaller equipment rooms, and there's the air handler for the air conditioning in the smaller equipment rooms. That's already provided by the building. This is some of the little power panels in the electrical room, one of the electrical rooms. It's a power distribution panel. Another quick shot of the tower. They said there's room for yet another tower or two up there if necessary, and still not interfering with each other. And there's a larger air handler in the larger room. There's at least 2 equipment rooms for broadcasters and communications people. That is the larger equipment room. And we, like I say, we are laying that room out now to be able to provide space for everyone else. In addition to Spanish Broadcasting, they have a couple of smaller transmitters that will be in there with a number of racks. And we're going to wall the place with racks to give you plenty of room to mount your equipment and yet still be able to lock it up so it's secure for you. That's the air handler in that room. And this is the outside area walking around where those rooms are. That was the smaller equipment room. And here we see the long shot of the Panorama Tower, 1101 Brickell Avenue, Miami, Florida. Tallest building in the southeastern part of the United States for residential living. Remind you that I am Ron Crider. You can reach me at 772-913-2209. Talk to me about space on top of the Panorama building in Miami, Florida. We'd be happy to chat with you about it. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. You have a great day.